Hello everyone, it's Craig again. In this episode, we'll be talking about the diagnosis. I want to share how I learned of my diagnosis and kind of some of the feelings that we had as we could receive the diagnosis. So after I met with my gastroenterologist, we laid out a plan for a series of blood tests and a series of procedures with MRIs, with fibro scans of the liver, other procedures as well. And originally, I got the blood work done very quickly and got those results back. Originally, I was scheduled to have the endoscopy. It wasn't scheduled until October timeframe because of the backup, which to me was not acceptable. And so I worked with the wonderful scheduling folks at Dr. Agito's office, and we were able to get put onto the cancellation list. And within 1 week's time, I was actually able to get on the schedule to have my endoscopy completed at the surgical center. Now, going into the endoscopy, we were assuming that what we were trying to do was rule out stomach cancer. But coming out of the endoscopy, as I was waking up from the anesthesia, and Dr. Agito was there to explain that he did find a gastric tumor. And that tumor, they took some biopsies of and sent them off to the lab for testing. So clearly not what we wanted to find. The tumor was located at the upper part of my stomach and lower part of my esophagus. And so we sent those biopsies out. That was on Wednesday, August 9th, when I had the endoscopy. On Friday, August 11th, Dr. Agito called me first thing in the morning to share with me that the labs had come back from the biopsy testing and that it was malignant and that I had officially had cancer. And so our next steps in the operation were to figure out what stage cancer I had and then put together a treatment plan to address that. The cancer's official name is adenocarcinoma. And there's some fancy words there, but just it's a type of cancer that's in the gastric cancer. With this result, we wanted to continue to do some of the testing to again try to determine if it had spread and to determine if what type of treatment plan we would be putting together. Unfortunately, as we were going through this, Megan and Abigail were out of town on some travel. And so Mariana, my youngest, and I made a tough decision to not share the news with them until they returned home on Saturday the 12th. There was nothing that could be done at that point in time. And so we didn't want to scare them or have this conversation over the phone when it was really something to be held in person. It was a very difficult decision for us to hold back in sharing that information, but I think it was the right thing so that they could enjoy the last part of their trip together. So the next step in our game plan was to schedule an abdominal MRI to see if we could see where else it may have spread in my abdominal cavity. So that's how we got the diagnosis and some of the next steps. For my moment of gratitude this episode, I'm grateful for the fact that I had my youngest daughter, Mariana, with me. While I know it was difficult for her to sit there and hear the tumor diagnosis at the end of the endoscopy, she truly was my rock during this period, telling me that we're going to have our weepy days and then we start fresh and we have start the new day. We take it one day at a time. She has been steadfast in her faith, and that has really brought much comfort and support to me and to the rest of the family. And I'm just grateful for her philosophy around how to handle this. We have our weepy days, and then we also have the next day where we start fresh. So I'm thankful to God for her faith and for the strength that she provided to me during that week until we were able to share the information with Abigail and Megan and let the whole family aware of kind of what what's going on and what our next steps were. So I hope to see you for my next episode and next update on my cancer journey. Thank you for joining me today.